in a very special way around the table. The Passover was a communal celebration. Usually families celebrated the Passover together, and so it is interesting to note who Jesus chose to celebrate this, his final Passover, with his closest friends and followers. The communal aspect of the Eucharist is far more than a group of people sharing a meal. It is the coming together of those who share belief in the kingdom of God. When people go to Mass, they are remembering Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, and making a communal commitment to go and share God's love in the world.
The action of washing one another's feet reminds us of the call to humble servitude. Foot washing is not a reenactment or a recreation of a past event, but rather it is a commemorative action that reminds us that God calls us first and foremost to be servants to others in our daily lives. The ritual washing of the feet can take place in many ways. Some churches choose to have 12 people who represent the apostles have their feet washed by the priest presiding over the celebration. Other churches invite the entire gathered community to have its feet washed. This particular tradition is very powerful because everyone is invited to come and have their feet washed by someone else in their community. However the ritual takes shape, whether 24 or 600 feet are washed, foot washing should always be a reminder that Christ has called us to be servants to the entire world. procession, and the offertory procession is also representative of the community. As bread is made up of many grains of wheat, so the body of Christ is made up of many members joined together with Christ. Since the gifts of bread and wine are symbols of the community, the prayer said during the Eucharist applies not only to the bread and wine, but to every member of the community they represent. It is not only the bread and wine that Jesus wants us to transform, but each one of us as well. The reality of the Eucharist is meant to become a personal reality. Jesus wants to transform us as well from the substance of our being. And just as the bread and wine still look and taste like bread and wine, so with us, the uniquely personal way that each of us expresses our human nature remain untouched. It is through Christ that we participate in the divine life, and it is by being transformed into Christ that we attain the goal of the Christian life. By allowing the words of consecration to be said over us, we gradually open ourselves up to the possibility of being transformed into the very image in which we have been created. The transformation we undergo also mirrors what happens to the bread of many members joined together in Christ. Since the gifts of bread and wine are symbols of the community, the prayer said during the Eucharist applies not only to the bread and wine, but to every member of the community they represent. It is not only the bread and wine that Jesus wants to transform, but each one of us as well. The reality of the Eucharist is meant to become a personal reality. Jesus wants to transform us as well from the substance of our being. And just as the bread and wine still look and taste like bread and wine, so with us, the uniquely personal way that each of us expresses our human nature remain untouched. It is through Christ that we participate in the divine life, and it is by being transformed into Christ that we attain the goal of the Christian life. By allowing what you yourself did. I believe that the Mass is both a sacrifice and a memorial reenacting your passion, death, and resurrection. Help me to realize that the Mass is the greatest gift of God to us and our greatest gift to God.
Disciples with Jesus did this for the first time in his Last Supper the night before he died. For 2,000 years, every day, we do exactly what the apostles did. We gather. Simple bread and simple wine becomes Jesus' body and blood. Every day since then. Tonight, the church around the entire world gathers for only one Mass in the evening to remember that Last Supper. For tonight, we've got enough wine that'll become his blood. We've got plenty of bread that'll become his body. We've got plenty of water, towels, and pitchers to wash the feet of 12 disciples tonight at the 7 o'clock Mass. There's new light bulbs in the chandeliers. There's new wax on the floor. There's new clean vestments that Father Rex and Father Jack and I will wear. Everything's ready. Bread, wine, the pitchers, the bowls. Everything's ready. We just need you. We see you. You can get anywhere in the city you want. You want to go to the mall? You're at the mall. You want to get to another church for a basketball game? You're there. You can get anywhere in the city that you want. There's only one Mass celebrated in this church. In every church, there's only one Mass a day, and it's tonight at 7 o'clock. And we just need one thing.